Once again, I want to welcome you to this morning's breakfast. We do want to get started with the program. I know you're anxious to hear from Jeff and David, and we look forward to hearing from them. One thing I want to remind you is that part of our program this morning will devote some time to a Q&A period, and as you'll note at the bottom of the front page of your program, there's some information there if you're interested in sending a question in to the panel via text. You've got the instructions there as to how to do that. As we begin this morning, I want to invite to the stage the Executive Director of the Metro Sports Authority, Toby Compton, is in that role, and certainly is very involved in the management, the operations, and what goes on at Bridgestone Arena at LP Field. And a couple of his current passions presently are the Ford Ice Center and the new First Tennessee Park, as those facilities are opening and being built. But we're grateful that Toby is with us this morning. Toby is a graduate of Lipscomb. He's worked with both Carl Dean and Bill Haslam as advisors in those with those elected officials, and now he's in his role as the director of the Metro Sports Authority. So will you join me in welcoming Toby to the stage? Toby?
Let us give thanks. Dear God, we come before you this morning, and we're so thankful that we have had the opportunity to have fellowship and come together at this university that's doing so many great things in our community and educating the young men and women that are the leaders of tomorrow. And God, we pray a special blessing on both David and Jeff and the leadership that they provide to the Predators and all their staff, because that organization really gives us so much entertainment and makes our city a better place. And as we enjoy our breakfast and as we leave this place, God, we hope that we're able to do many things here and in our businesses, with our families and our friends, and have fellowship with you in all we do. In your name we pray, amen.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Nashville Business Breakfast. We're thrilled that you're here and thrilled that we have the opportunity today for this particular program and conversation. I want to extend a special welcome to several tables that include our new cohort in the Master of Management program and also the businesses in which they will each work. This is a new program that's not necessarily for those who have a business background, but is unique in the sense that when they graduate with a master's degree in management, they will have a full year of work experience. They gathered this summer for a week-long residency, and in just a couple of weeks will be doing their international travel program to Singapore. And I believe when they get through, they will be very ready to join you as members of this business community. If you're part of either that cohort or the businesses that are supporting them, would you stand and allow us to see where you are and recognize you? Well, it's a new year at Lipscomb University. I wish you could have been here just about 48 hours ago, as we had what's called the President's Convocation, something that happens all over the nation as universities begin a new academic year. This arena was filled with about 5,000 students and the faculty in their robes, all of us imitating what was going on in the 12th century in terms of higher education. But there's something about ritual and there's something about ceremony that is really, really important. We start the year in a serious way because we want students to take this seriously, but we also occasionally have a good bit of fun. I accepted the Ice Bucket Challenge just a week ago in front of the same thousands of students, and well, there it is. I often contend that being a college president is something like being a camp counselor, and you just have to be willing to get wet. And there we were in the first gathering of our academic year. But we think about Nashville, we think about students, and we think about the reality that we recruit to Lipscomb University, but we really, really recruit to Nashville. The reality is that students are so attracted to this city. In fact, we have a little phrase that we use, the city is our campus and the world is our classroom. And those management students on their way to Singapore will understand the latter, but the former is something that you help us create. You help us create a welcoming city where students are excited to come, and I'm very, very pleased that our students, the majority of them that come here, will actually stay here. In fact, you may not know this statistic, but I think it's interesting. 36,000 alumni from this university, half of them live in 2 counties in Tennessee, Davidson and Williamson County. So we really do believe we're educating people not only for the workplace, but for the workplace here, and that's so significant. But they come because of who you are. They come because of the business opportunities. They come because of the art and the culture of the city, the vibrancy of this community, and they come partially because of our athletics. I am so pleased to be in a city, after living in Minnesota, to be in a city that also has a hockey team. That occurred in Los Angeles, that occurred in Nashville, and today we will have some focus on that as we welcome 2 speakers to bring to us the perspective of the Predators and their work in our city and their future. Jeff Cogen is the CEO of the Predators and the Bridgestone Arena. David Poyle is the president of hockey operations and the general manager. They're going to both speak to us, and they're going to be engaged in the conversation. Would you please welcome them to the stage?
Today's format is David and I are going to speak, and then there's a Q&A, as you heard. David and I have 15 minutes to speak together, total. We don't do anything in 15 minutes. Most of our meetings start 15 minutes late. Usually things take us 15 days or 15 months, and in David's case, it took him 15 years to build the team. We are 3 entities, effectively. We are, of course, the Nashville Predators. We are Bridgestone Arena, and we are the new community ice rink that is being built almost complete in Antioch at the old Hickory Hollow Mall in partnership with Metro. In the reception earlier today, our partners, American Contractors, are here today. And I want to thank them for their, for the most part, on time, on budget performance, and encourage them to get the grease trap fixed. David and I are partners in every sense of the word. Our group runs the business operation, and David's group runs hockey operations. And it didn't take us long to figure out we needed to work together. And we haven't figured out which came first, but, the more games hockey operations wins, the more tickets we sell. The more tickets we sell, the higher the player payroll. The higher the player payroll, the more games we win, and back to selling more tickets. And so we clearly are partners in this regard, and if you want it kind of defined in one sentence, our business group brings in 100% of the revenues, and David's group spends about 125% of that. So that in one sentence is kind of our business operation. I'll go to the business operation. I want to start with culture, and I want to end with culture. We believe in a sales culture. We believe in a revenue culture. We believe in driving the top line, and the bottom line takes care of itself. I don't want to give you the impression we don't pay attention to the expenses, but we do not believe in saving your way to prosperity. Body count, paper clips, did you use regular mail or FedEx? We don't have a lot of those discussions. We have some of those discussions, but the majority of our discussions are how are we going to drive revenues. And I could sit here and bore y'all to tears with, here's what my income statements look like, here's what the monthly financials look like, here's what the budget looks like, here's what the balance sheet looks like. And you know, how we drive these revenues, tickets, sponsorships, suites, hot dogs, t-shirts, y'all don't want to hear that. I want to talk to you about building a sales culture and how we utilize that. Relative to all these revenue line items, nothing happens until the building's filled. Sponsors are buying those eyeballs. You're not going to sell a t-shirt or a Pepsi to an empty seat, so we focus 80% of our energies on filling the building. About 4.5 years ago, we had 12 people whose job was to sell. Now I think we have 149 people whose jobs are to sell. One of the first things we did was we created a company-wide sales contest. Our brand is Smashville. I'm the mayor. David is the city architect. And we have some fun with that. But everybody in Smashville is a salesperson. We put actual salespeople in charge of teams. We have some fun with it. My team is I like it, I laugh, you let it. David's team is our Pekka is bigger than yours, and we have some fun with this. But we're all driving ticket sales to fill the building. You know, we train people with their tactics. By example, if you're going to do business with us, if we're going to issue you a purchase order, you are going to have a season ticket or a ticket package of some kind. Coercion is such a nasty word. We prefer leverage, but that's an initiative that we utilize. And the other thing we do is we believe if we can get you to the building and know who you are, a qualified lead, which today in our maturity is a heartbeat and a job, but if we can get a qualified lead to the building and know who they are, we think we can get you to come back. We call this data capture, sample, sell. And if y'all are willing, because I'm looking around the room and I think y'all are our target heartbeats and jobs, we'd like you to come sample our product. So the way this works is there are 2 account executives here, please, well, there are 2 account executives here, Mr. Schaefer, Mr. Wolf. See those people as you exit. If you give them a business card, they will give you a voucher for a free ticket to an upcoming game. We'll know when you redeem that voucher. We'll know when you come in the building because we'll scan your ticket. And you'll get an email. Hi, I'm Jeff Cogen. I'm your account executive. Wasn't that exciting 3-2 victory? Love to have you back. Click on this link. Here are some ticket packages. We'll close about 15% of those, and we will do that quite frequently. Create, sample, grow the base, fill the building. That drives the revenue that we invest, as I said, 125% back into player payroll. And to give you some color and insight on that part of the business, my partner, President of Hockey Operations, David Poyle. And thank you very much.
That's my partner.
Good job.
Great business model, huh? 100%, spend 125%. Do we have any investors out there? What we've talked about in our office after the last couple of seasons is forward focus. And that's going forward in everything we do, and especially with our team. You know, with myself, you know, you just don't dwell in the present. I just think about this from a player standpoint. I mean, you have a shift, and you can't dwell on that. You got to go to the next shift and to the next game. And with management and our whole group, we're always seemingly looking ahead all of the time to the next game, to the next home stand, to our younger prospects that you're going to see at the Ford Center in a couple of weeks, to all the players that are developing our system, progressing, looking forward to next year's draft, whatever changes that we can make to get our team to be in a better place. And today, we're looking forward to the start of training camp. As Jeff touched on, we're actually going to start our training camp with a rookie camp this year at this Ford Ice Center on September 11th. It's a fantastic facility. Thank you for those that helped build it, for Jeff's vision. And again, it's just for the growth of hockey here in Nashville. But the point is that for the Predators, forward focus. This is a season of change, and we have that forward focus. It starts with our coach. Peter Lavalette is our new coach. He comes to us with a record of tremendous success. He has made significant impact in his first seasons for the other 3 clubs that he's been with before. He's been with the Islanders, Carolina, and Philadelphia, and he brings a great passion. I don't know if you had a chance to meet him or hear him, but he's got great passion when he speaks. He has an aggressive style, and he brings with him something that nobody else in our organization has as a player, and that's the Stanley Cup that he won with Carolina. One other factor when you make a coaching change for all of our players, which is extremely important, is they all get a new fresh start, if you will, with Peter. This is a new beginning for every player. Nobody's guaranteed their ice time, who they played with last year. It's sort of like the Army, as far as I'm concerned, when we come to training camp this year, is you got to earn your stripes every day, if you will. Our coaching staff has changed, not only with Peter. We're bringing back with him his longtime assistant, Kevin McCarthy. He was with him in Carolina and Philadelphia. And we have a new goaltending coach in Ben Vanderklok, a young guy that our former coach, Mitch Korn, has groomed. So for a manager that's been here all these years, and we make this many changes both on the ice and off the ice, I think it's going to be really exciting. Let's talk about our team. The strengths of our team are our goaltending and our defense. Pekka Rinne is a world-class goaltender. There's no question in my mind the last 2 years have been very difficult, especially last year when he missed 51 games with a hip injury. He finished the season strong. He's healthy. He went to the World's Championships over in Sweden. He was the MVP of the tournament. We've talked to him recently. He feels 100%, no hip issues. And all I can tell you is that with Pekka in goal, we got a chance to win every game, and I think he makes everybody a little bit better. Last year, Carter Hutton was our second goaltender, who we thought maybe would play 20 games. He ended up playing almost all the games and won 20 games, so we've solidified our goaltending. The next area in our team that's really strong is our defense, led by our captain, Shea Weber, who is a finalist for the Norris Trophy 3 of the last four seasons. We feel he's the best defenseman in the National Hockey League. And he's got a little bit more incentive if he needed it to play better yesterday with his wife. And he had their first baby, a baby boy born here in Nashville, Beckett Michael Weber. So hopefully that'll be the next or first superstar from Nashville born here that will play for us. And what year will that be? I don't know if I'll be around that long in 2030. But Shea's the real deal. He's our captain. He's our leader. He's paired with Roman Josi, who had a breakout year last year with Shea, and he's a world-class defenseman. Last year we drafted Seth Jones, 19 years old still, fabulous player, going to be every bit as good as Shea coming down the road here. He just needs a little bit of time, but he's a terrific person. He's totally focused, and he's the real deal. We got other young defensemen like Ryan Ellis and Ekholm that came on last year, are developing. 5 of our top 6 defensemen are very offensive, if you will, which plays into how we want to start playing. So those are the strengths of our team. But it was the forward, and getting back to this forward-focused topic field, that's where we saw the need for change, and that's where we saw the opportunity for growth. And with all the changes that we've made in this offseason, I can see us having 6 or 7 new forwards this season. We actually have more forwards under contract than we have positions available. And I think that creates great competition at training camp, is which we want to do. It gives the coaches tremendous flexibility in terms of what they want to do and who they want to try at training camp. So I think it's going to be really exciting. The first person that we acquired in the offseason was James Neal from the Pittsburgh Penguins. James is the real deal. Maybe that could be a slogan you could use there, Jeff. Real deal Neal. I don't know. But he's actually scored the 3rd most goals in the National Hockey League in the last 3 years. So this is the first line forward that we haven't had, and we've been seeking this for a lot of years, and we finally got this. And this is the guy that we hope to build our offense around. We also went to the free agent market, and we signed veterans like Olli Jokinen, Derek Roy, and Mike Ribeiro, all top 6 forwards, all skilled forwards, all guys that can put the puck in the net. And again, it's going to give us a totally different look, if you will, on our forwards this year. We've got one injury that is real unfortunate. Mike Fisher, who is certainly one of our best players in all-around game, ruptured his Achilles heel training this summer, and he won't be back until the end of November. So we've got to get past that. I always look at these things as maybe sometimes a little bit of a blessing in disguise, that maybe some of these younger guys like Jarn Krok and Forsberg that we have in the system that look like they're ready to play this year, maybe they'll get their chance, get their their foot in the door, and when Mike comes back, it'll be like trading for a first-round pick, and it'll be, you know, really good timing. But we're really bullish on the year, and really excited with the changes with the new coaching staff. And just to finish up, by still looking ahead a little bit, our prospects were just rated by the Hockey News as number 5 in all of the NHL in terms of the top 100. We got 5 players in the top 100, which one is Kevin Fiala, who was our first-round pick, and Philip Forsberg, who I just mentioned. And again, the good news, I think the good news is that they're all forwards. All 5 of these players are there. So again, I'm really excited about the new coach, the new direction of our team, and having a healthy Pekka Rinne, and I think you'll really enjoy the season. It's going to be really good. Just aside before I finish up, I get to do this from time to time, and it's, I think, now my 16th year in Nashville, and I couldn't be prouder to call myself a Nashvilleian. And getting to know a lot of you people who have come to the games over the years. It's been fantastic how the franchise has grown, which is Jeff and my job, but it's fantastic to see how the city has rallied behind it, and the development of the city, the downtown area, the whole thing is fabulous. For those that when we first came here had never seen hockey or said, "Oh, the National Hockey League is not going to go here," man, it's taken a little bit of time, but it's getting better and better, and it's we're gonna do our job on the ice. We're gonna get a winner. We're gonna get a Stanley Cup here in the near future, and the building's gonna be full. So thanks for your support. Really appreciate it.
Okay, great job, Jeff and David. To the audience, let me remind you that you can submit questions, and the instructions are on the program as to how to do that. Jeff, let me start with the ownership group. We've got a lot of people here who read a lot over the years about the changes in ownership, the ups and downs, stability, instability. I know Tom Sigerin came in, a well-known business executive that many of us know from here in the community. What's the current state of the ownership group? And all jokes aside, what's the current financial state, profitable or unprofitable, of the Predators?
Well, I'll go backwards. Fifth Third, since y'all see all this, do you want to answer how's the financial status of the Predators? The ownership group, I'm proud to say, is composed for the most part of local Nashvilleians, Mr. Sigerin, Mr. Fritsch, the Thompsons, Mr. Dauberpool and his wife, and that's important to us that the ownership is local. It has never been in better shape. We are well funded. Our business operation is never been more stable. I wanted to use profitable. We may be a year away from that, but has never been more stable. We have a very interactive and collaborative interaction, business-wise, hockey-wise, with ownership. We meet, as most businesses do, quarterly, monthly. You know, it wasn't so long ago that this team was at risk of being moved to Canada. And Ron Samuels and a group led a rally and saved the team. And thank you for that, Ron. I'm enjoying my job. I don't think I'd like a suburb of Toronto, but we've never been in more stable situation. And there is a great three-way partnership. I referenced the partnership between David and myself. It's actually a three-way partnership between business ops, ownership, and hockey operations. There was one thing I wanted to say. In this partnership where David runs hockey operations and our group runs business operations, and you heard it in David's presentation, we don't mind giving each other feedback. Like, I'll come up to David and say, that guy shouldn't be playing there. And as you heard, he gives me ideas for slogans, the real deal. So,
David, you talked a little bit about Nashville and being here in Nashville. Exactly what part does that play when you are recruiting players? How much of an impact does that make?
Well, at the beginning, we didn't know what part it would play because we didn't know Nashville, but the longer we've been here, it's been fabulous. I mean, we're a young franchise, yet I think we got 5 or 6 players that have already retired here in Nashville, which I think just stands out as how great the city is. And obviously it's usually the more older guys who had married, have kids and what have you, so they love the schools. As a manager, there's always things that come up. There's always guys that don't like this or don't like that, and maybe it's the manager, maybe it's the coach, could be the city. I've never had a player in 16 years, which I should knock on wood when I say that, that's asked to be traded because they didn't like the environment of what we had going there. If we can get a player here, like in the free agency this year, I guess is a perfect example where we brought 3 players in here. They brought their wives, had a look around the city, and one in particular, before we even talked contract, which was a unique situation, and they fell in love with the area and saw where their kids could be comfortable in school. They liked the distances from their house to downtown to the airport and all of those other things. And I guess this is where I'm supposed to mention, Jeff, and no state taxes. So that helps a little bit.
Jeff, I get confused. I hear about the Nashville Sports Council, the Nashville Sports Authority, the Music City Sports and Entertainment Group, Powers Sports Management. I mean, there's so many different entities, and these things all seem to be interrelated. Can you give us, a very quick summary of how all this stuff works? Which group does what?
Okay. Starting at the top, Toby Compton and the Sports Authority is our landlord at Bridgestone Arena. We have an agreement with Metro. It provides us the obligation, responsibility, and I like to use the term honor of running Bridgestone Arena. We've changed the culture in operating Bridgestone Arena as well. We don't wait for the phone to ring. We create partnerships. We go out and overpay for acts sometimes, but we create programming. And there's a publication called Polestar. Polestar rates arenas in North America, actually the world. We pay attention to North America. And we are either the 5th or 6th busiest building in North America, depending on which quarter it is. Our goal is to be number 1. Our peer group is Madison Square Garden, Staples, the United Center in Chicago, and we're really proud of that. But the Sports Authority is our landlord. They are tasked with overseeing our operation, make sure we pay our bills and operate it in a first-class manner. The Sports Council is our partner in bringing, the term we use internally is non-hockey events. The biggest one is probably the Women's Final Four, SEC basketball, and maybe an all-star game. So we're working with them on that. Powers is a corporate affiliate of the Predators. It's kind of one and the same. What was the last one?
The Music City Sports and Entertainment Group.
I have no idea.
Nor do I.
All right, so you mentioned the All-Star game. You whispered it, the All-Star game. So is Nashville ready for that, and how do you prepare for that?
How do you prepare for the All-Star game? You create constituent groups. Well, first of all, is Nashville ready for it? Unequivocally, absolutely. We are the it city. You can't turn around without seeing the positive press about our community, which obviously we all know. But yes, with the Music City Center and the expansion of hotels, we are much more ready than we ever have been. We're in competition for it. We've responded to the bid. We're working that bid with Metro, with the Sports Council, with the Sports Authority, with the CVC, with the Chamber, and you create this coalition, this community coalition, and you go present, and we're in the process of doing that. I'm bullish and optimistic.
David, I got a preview look at the Ford Ice Center a couple of weeks ago on the soft opening night. It is spectacular. I think the community is just going to be flabbergasted when they see what you guys have done at the old Hickory Hollow Mall site. What's the larger strategy, though, in terms of building additional sheets of ice. How does that play into not just fan development, but also potentially player development right here in Nashville?
Well, it goes hand in hand, and this is the vision, as Jeff we kept referring to the partnership and with our ownership. If we're going to grow the game here eventually, I mean, I think you realize that these things go in generations, and there'll be, new fans. And if we can get your kids to be playing hockey, they're going to be dragging you to the rink eventually, and they're going to be our next generation of fans. So, I mean, I think this is just the start of it. I mean, we got Bridgestone, we got Centennial, we got A-Game, and now we got the Ford Center. And I know, Jeff maybe wants to expound on this a little bit more than I do. It takes a little bit of time, but if we can get arenas, if you will, in the different quadrants of our city or our area, it's just going to be fabulous. I mean, I sort of, kidded, but who knows with Shea Weber, he's like 29 years of age, and so when he plays, because his contract's got 12 more years till he plays till 40 years of age, his son Beckett's going to be 13 or 14 years of age, and that could be something that we could sort of put our hat on, so to speak, that this could be where we're going. But it's going to happen. I mean, we're getting kids that are actually good enough right now to go up to play, into prep schools or to be recruited to USHL, which is an amateur league, and some of these guys are starting to get offered college scholarships, so it's already happened, and it's just a matter of time. But again, it's part of the big vision, the thing that if I had, other than winning the Stanley Cup, I mean, this is what I'd like to see for Nashville, is to get a few more arenas like this Ford Center, and one at a time, but it's going to happen. And again, it's a fun game. I don't know who's got kids that are participating in minor hockey, but it's a great family sport. The guys and the girls, a lot of girls playing hockey now too. It's fabulous for families.
So we're all in the business of bringing talent to our work teams. Can you tell us a little bit about what you look for when you're drafting talent, and exactly what kind of traits?
I guess every team certainly has a philosophy. We hope that we can differentiate a little bit from other teams. You talk about skills, skating, size, those type of things. You talk about intangibles, character. Again, with our scouting staff, I try to give them the direction that I think where the game is going. This is where I hope experience pays off. Talking to a lot of people, watching a lot of different games, seeing what the winners are doing. I mean, why did the Los Angeles Kings win the Stanley Cup? Why did Chicago win the Stanley Cup the year before? What did they have that we didn't have? Type of a situation. Are we drafting the right type of players? Are we making the right acquisitions? And again, in my remarks today, I think I have about 2/3 of it right, meaning we've got world-class goaltending, and I've put our defense and its potential up against pretty well everybody in the league, so that's 2/3 of it. We just, right now we just need to get some more forwards, and more specifically guys that can put the puck in the net, so that with our good defense and goaltending that we are instead of losing 2-3, a lot of times we're now winning games 3-2 or 4-2 or what have you. But specific characteristics right now, the game is getting faster all the time. I mean, if you can't skate, really effectively, it's going to be really hard to play. So we certainly favor that. The unique thing about hockey versus some of the other sports is that, size is sort of in the eye of the beholder. I mean, James Neal is a player that we really coveted, big goal scorer. He's like 6'2", 6'3", power forward, really like all of the physical attributes that he brings. But we've had players like Steve Sullivan, for example, that was maybe 5'7" or 5'8", maybe one of our most effective players, one of the best players that we've ever had here. So that's what's kind of neat about hockey, that there's all different types that can make an impact on your team. You have to have a physical presence. You've got to have guys that can play aggressive, be willing to hit, be willing to take a hit, maybe to drop the gloves once in a while to protect their teammates. As we say sometimes, like Shea Weber's probably the toughest guy on our team, but we don't want him fighting all the time. So you need somebody to keep the flies off him, so to speak. So that's when you put out a tougher guy to kind of discourage the opposition from hitting him or what have you. So I guess I could talk forever on this, I'll shorten it, but there's a million things to go into your selections, and you don't want the same thing all the time. 20 players of all the same skills wouldn't make a team, if you will. You're trying to put a team together, and it's a lot of things that go into it.
Jeff, we've watched the evolution of downtown Nashville, the vision that Phil Bredesen brought as mayor to not only the construction of LP Field and Bridgestone Arena, but also the vision to develop downtown in an incredible way. We're at a very special moment, I think, in the history of Nashville. We've got a mayor's race coming up, though, and things could change. Do you have any thoughts about, what we need to do as a city in the next 5 years, or certainly during the term of the next mayor, to keep this momentum that we have going?
I think Mayor Dean has it right on. Education, transportation, investment back into the infrastructure, especially in the business district. I'm hopeful that new leadership embraces those same major tenets. A political question.
A political answer. Thanks.
We'll stay on that topic a little bit. It was reported. Woo! It was reported this week that the NHL is considering expansion into potentially several new cities. So without confirming those reports, can you just talk about what lessons does Nashville have to offer, and how does that affect you all and what you do?
Well, I heard historically, don't hear it anymore, the term small market, low payroll. Those two seem to go together. And we just elected not to operate like that. I pointed at some of our group that's here today. And I guess the lesson learned would be, it's not the size of the dog, it's, how's that saying? The size of the fight in the dog, right? Something like that. And I would say that's the lesson learned, that, we're in the Southeast, hockey will never fly, the market's too small. We just chose not to believe it and set a course to dispel those myths. And so to the rumored cities, some of which, matter of fact, the majority of which are not very big, I would say that would be the lead to follow.
So, David, we've watched these outdoor hockey games. It's just fascinating how they are able to create ice in a football stadium. I wonder if we have an outdoor game in our future at LP Field anytime soon.
I don't honestly know the answer to that. I mean, I'm really jealous of the teams that get to participate in those games. I think they're fabulous. I went last year to the one at the University of Michigan, 104,000 people in snow. It was unbelievable. Never been so cold in my life, but it was. Everybody was dressed in parkas, and I got my suit on, and I was freezing. But visually, it's one of those things like it's on a bucket list that you got to do that. And I think it's on our bucket list. I mean, we're probably we got to be in line with some of the other teams, because everybody wants one. They're going to do one out in California in San Jose at the 49ers new stadium this year. Again, everyone is unique, and I'm sure.
So it can be done in a warm weather city.
Absolutely, and again, in my opinion, will it get done here someday? I don't know when that will be, but it'll be unique. We will do something different than anybody else has done before. Because this will be a national TV, and it'll be a huge event. So again, let's get the All-Star game, and then we'll go for that.
Can I interject?
Absolutely.
The reason David was in his suit in Ann Arbor, Michigan on January 2nd, was it? January 1st, was because he was tapped and had the significant honor of being the general manager of Team USA. And he's also on the Hockey Hall of Fame selection committee. So you're dealing with a very accomplished individual.
Can each of you speak a little bit about what's currently keeping you up at night? Just give us kind of an insight into the challenges of your job right now. Jeff, do you, I'm not sure you
currently and
sleep.
always. Go ahead.
What keeps me up at night? My son adapting to college would be the first thing I'd say there. From a business perspective, the grease trap at Ford Ice keeps me up at night. Harold. You know, people say, are you ready for the season? And I say, no, but I don't have to be until October 9th. And, you know, I sleep pretty well, to be candid with you. I think that thanks to the fine staff and the 149 hard workers we have at Bridgestone Arena, Ford Ice, and the Nashville Predators, we're selling tickets, we're selling signs, we're ready to sell hot dogs. David has provided us what I think is going to be a spectacular product on the ice, and we're ready to go.
I agree with what Jeff said. I mean, again, I sort of like the whole forward focus theme here is that I get it. I mean, when I'm not sleeping, I am thinking of the past and what went wrong or what could you do to be better or what have you. I think we all revisit history to see what we could do or change or what have you. But when it's over, it's over. And it's over. Last year is over for me, us, or what have you. Everything that we've been doing is to go forward or what have you. So the past is the past, and whatever happened, happened, and it's the future that's the most important thing. That's what keeps me getting up in the morning, which is more important.
All right, well, we're going to run out of time, so we probably got time for maybe a couple of more questions. Let me ask one, Kate, and you ask the last one. So let me put you both on the spot just a little bit here, not too bad, but your organization is sort of on the ascendancy, and the Titans are really struggling, probably more than has been admitted publicly in terms of ticket sales, that sort of thing. If you guys would be willing to say so, what advice would you give the Titans in terms of being a little bit more marketing minded? I heard somebody the other day say in 15 years of being a Titan season ticket holder, they'd never gotten a call from the Titans. I know I never have. Get a call all the time from the Predators. You got any advice for the Titans?
When?
Another political answer.
You think I'm joking. We work really hard, and we think that we have strategic and tactful initiatives. And if I used to tell the baseball GM that I worked with years ago, there are 160 games. If we're going to be 500, win the first 80 and lose the second 80. And the beer always tastes better, and the game is always better when the team wins. You create that positive environment, you get repeat customers, you get new customers. So while I say that tongue-in-cheek, winning solves a lot of ills.
When I got my first general manager job with the Washington Capitals, I got the job because they were in the league for 8 straight years and they never made the playoffs. So when I got there, the whole staff and everybody was so down, so negative or what have you. So just talking to everybody, and what have you been doing, you know, sort of going through the whole situation, both on the hockey and the business side. I thought, man, these people have actually done a really, really good job. There's one missing factor, and that was the team wasn't any good, never made the playoffs. We made the playoffs for that first year in Washington and for 14 consecutive years, and the marketing and everything was way better once the team made the playoffs.
Good answer.
All right, for our final question, you know, you talked a little bit about people here today can get a free ticket, come check out the game, but I want to kind of give the mic to you, and what else do you need from the business community? If you were to, how can we support the Preds and what you're doing?
I think in my remarks, I said we spend 80% of our time on trying to fill the building. And because I was rushed a little bit, the initiative I talked about is if we think we can get you there, we think we can get you back. And so when you walk out, you'll see Josh Wolf and Dan Schaefer where you checked in, and they'll give you a voucher redeemable for a free ticket. The first game's on us. And to the business community, I would say thank you to our season ticket holders, thank you for your business. And for the business community that are not yet season ticket holders, I'd encourage you to come out, see our games, see our shows. We're really proud of both our hockey team, our non-hockey events that we do, be it SEC men's basketball or Justin Timberlake and Paul McCartney. Come out, try us on for size.
I think we're, again, I'm very confident of the future of our franchise, both on and off the ice, but I still think we're scratching the surface. I mean, what's 15 or 16 years, that's young in anybody's business. And again, on a daily basis, I run into people that have never been to a game in Nashville. And, again, I know it's not the biggest city, but I would have thought that by this time more people, would have been to a game. So I still think you got, your business associates, your friends, your neighbors, or what have you, that still haven't got into the sport. So I think our growth factor could be huge. So if you care, you're interested, if you had a good time at a game, you want to do something business-wise, I can't think of a better thing than to come down to the Bridgestone, to come to a hockey game and to be entertained.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Wonderful to have you gentlemen share with us today. The games will mean more, understanding a little bit about the context. Thank you for being with us. I want to make one announcement that is so recent we couldn't get it in the program, and that is that our next business breakfast will be on November the 12th, and our speaker at that breakfast will be Michael Burcham, the president and CEO of the Entrepreneurial Center. That just happened in the last couple of days. We're thrilled Michael will be with us, and we think you will benefit from his perspective, not only as a successful business person himself, but now as someone who is training legions for our future. As we close today, I want to just take you back 48 hours to this arena and the President's Convocation. One of the amazing moments as this student body gathered was the fact that we brought in a flag for each of the students from some other nation. Now, I used to talk about there being students from 20 or 30 countries. Now at this university, there are students from 62 different nations. And what I want you to think about is how when they come to this city, our city, their eyes are opened. It's just an amazing thing to talk to someone from a third world country or from China or the Far East and talk to them in their first day or two or three in Nashville, Tennessee. My wife, several years ago, took a group of students from a third world country down to Target to just kind of buy some necessities that we knew they didn't have, and they were so profoundly affected by what was available at Target, they literally couldn't buy anything. And as I look at these students who come into our world, and they're going to find sports, and they're going to find art and culture, and they're going to find you in this tremendously free, wonderful city, my sense is we just need to be reminded what it's like to have open eyes and to once again see how we have been blessed in so many ways. Because we live it, we may not see it. They remind me it's really something that's special. May God be with you. Have a great day. Thanks for coming. We'll see you in November.